Size dice and a small die. This large die would be too difficult, too big, too hard to palm, because you want to be able to hide it in your hand and be able to apparently put a couple of other dice in your hand as well. So that one's out. That's too big. This one maybe, but I haven't practiced with that one. So let's try it with this one, that one, and a little tiny die. That should do it. Yeah, that looks good. The setup is this. You have 4 regular dice. You need 1 little die and 1 big die. But just to make it a little bit easier in the handling, you might want to get 1 or 2 extra tiny dice. And those go in your right coat pocket. The big die goes in your left coat pocket. And the regular dice, you can either put all of them in your right coat pocket, but what I normally do is put 2 in each pocket. The reason for this is I'll reach into the left coat pocket, bring out the 2 dice, do a quick trick with 2 ordinary dice, like say, for example, the Sachs dice routine. After you do this, apparently you're getting ready to put them away. Just start to put them away and then say, oh, let me show you one more thing. And you bring them out again. In doing that, you steal a 3rd die. Pretty simple to do. What I normally do is I show these 2 dice. I hold one in a finger palm position. The other one is loose. And as I reach into the pocket, apparently getting ready to put them away, I just pick up 1 extra die. I say, oh, let me show you something else. So you're 1 ahead. Now you say, if I roll them with the left hand, they always come up 8. Well, whatever number comes up, you claim it always comes up that number. Ooh, I always get 11. Then you do the utility switch. Here's the utility switch. You show 2 dice here, finger palm 1 of these 2 dice. Apparently you're going to dump both of the dice into your other hand, but you retain 1, you throw the other one, you say, but if I throw them with the right hand, they come up 7 every time. The only reason for doing this is it gives you a logical reason to throw them with one hand, apparently toss both dice to the other hand and throw them again. So now you're 1 ahead, your extra die is in the left hand. You say, but if I put 1 in each hand, 1 in each hand, of course, like this. This one you say you put it away, what do you get? 2. So it looks like the die flies from the pocket to the hand. Then you say, well, here's an interesting thing. You still have this die, by the way. You don't really put it away. And you bring out these, throw them in the other hand, adding the 3rd die to it. You say, but the one I put away, I actually still have in the pocket. That's pretty interesting. Then pretend to put this away and actually you just bring it out again. Then you say, yeah, but the one I put away is still there, and that's why I have 3. So it's a little bit confusing, but a pretty good effect. Now you're doing the old 2 in the hand, 1 in the pocket. You've got 1 extra die hidden here. You pick up 2 of these dice, throw them in the hand, either one at a time or together. Sometimes you might want to do 1, and then the second one, adding the 3rd one secretly, or if you prefer, you could just pick up 2 dice, throw all 3 in your hand. This one I'll put in the pocket. Pretend to put it in the pocket. You leave it in the pocket, and what you do is you get one of the small dice and you clip it between the 2 middle fingers like this. So you say, I put it away, I've got 3 dice again. Now, that looks pretty fair. Your hands apparently are empty, nice and flat. Do this. Nobody's going to suspect you have a tiny die. Pick up 2 dice in your right hand, and that completely conceals the tiny die. And this die, the 3rd die, you put in your left pocket. And it says in the book to leave the hand in the pocket as you do 1, 2, and 3 dice. The misdirection of producing this little tiny die, you bring this hand out of the pocket. Now, whether you put it away right away and bring it out, that's entirely up to you. Once you've got this hidden in your hand, here's what you do. You take the first die, you put it on top of your fist, and you poke it inside like this. You take the second die, pretend to put it on top, but you're going to do the silent Mora pop-up move, like the balls across routine. So you hide this in your hand, turn your hand over. This die, you just bring it back up to the top of the fist. So it should look like you're putting a second die on top of the fist. That's the first die being shown a second time. The other one's hidden here. Poke that in the fist. Then you take the 3rd die, the little one, put it on top. Let the spectator poke it inside like that. Then you say, how many dice should I have? We've got 3 dice, 1 small one, a big one, and what would this be? And they'd usually say big, and you say, yep, that's a big one, all right. In fact, you can even use a bigger die, the largest you could possibly fit in your hand, and that's the finish. The only thing that's wrong is you're left with 1 extra die in your hand, but that's not a problem. You pick up this die and this die. When you put them away, you put the little die in one pocket, the regular die in the other pocket, and this die is examined. When you're finished having it examined, put it away in your left pocket, and you're reset for your next presentation. Daryl's color-changing knife routine. I learned a lot of different ways to do the color changing knives. I wanted to have all the advantages without the disadvantages. The advantages of a half and half finish, the advantage of being able to hand out everything for examination, and also the advantage of being able to instantly reset right in front of the audience in preparation for the next performance. Here's what I came up with. It's a 2-knife set. One knife is one color on one side, different color on the other side. I like yellow and red, good contrast. The other knife is yellow on one side, half red, half yellow on the other. Here's the setup. You ready? Watch this. One in each pocket. You're ready to go. Trousers pocket, coat pocket, makes no difference. One on the left side, one on the right side. That part's important. Here's what you do when you're ready to start. Right hand just reaches into the pocket. Doesn't make any difference what side is uppermost. That's where you start. If you happen to bring it out, it's yellow side up. Makes no difference. First thing you need to learn is the paddle move. The paddle move is a method where it looks like you're showing something on both sides. Actually, you're keeping one side hidden. You do that by showing the other side twice. The first thing you have to practice is rolling the knife over once, rolling it back once. It doesn't have to be fast, but it does have to be smooth. Don't try to do it fast. Just roll it over, roll it back. Do this maybe 100 times. The next step is you just turn your hand over at the wrist, from palm up to palm down. All you have to do for the paddle move is these two moves together. In very slow motion, as you turn your hand from palm up to palm down, you start to roll the knife. By the time your hand is turned over, the knife has been rolled over. The theory is that the larger action of turning the knife over, or the hand over, hides the smaller action of turning the knife over like this. Okay? That's the standard paddle move. Now here's the routine. Bring out the knife, whatever side is up, you apparently show it that color on both sides. Paddle move. I put it in the hand like this at the base of the fingers. I turn the hand over, but I don't turn the knife over. I just turn the hand over, push it through, nothing happens. The reason I do this, I say, oh, I have not yet used misdirection. You need misdirection. Now you lay it across the base of the fingers, but when you close your fingers and turn your left hand over, that turns the knife over, so the red side is uppermost. I say misdirection. I sprinkle it in, and now apparently it changes color. Now, as soon as it comes out of the left fist, you grab it with the right hand in paddle move position, and you show apparently it's red on both sides. Do the same thing again, misdirection. You do this, it changes. Now, you need to do this 2 or 3 times. You keep doing it until it is red side up. You've got to finish this phase of the routine with the knife red side up, all right? Then you explain how this is done as you have 2 knives. The misdirection is not when I reach over here. The misdirection when I'm actually showing you the knife. While everybody's looking there, my other hand casually reaches into the pocket. Of course, nobody buys this, which is good. So you show this, you reach in, you take out the duplicate knife. Very important, you bring this knife out yellow side up. How do you know? Here's how you know. The blade of the knife is on the left side. Okay, when you put it in your pocket, you put it in yellow side up. If it happens to turn over in your pocket like this, that's all right. Just reach in. If you do not feel the blade of the knife on the left side, be sure to turn the knife over first before you bring it out. If you feel the blade on the left side, your left side, you know it's going to be yellow side up. All right, so you bring it out, yellow side up, you say, oh, duplicate knife. All you do is you hide this in your hand and you do the secret switch. Now you're telling the audience you've got 2 knives, and you tell the audience you do the secret switch. They give you credit for incredible sleight of hand skill. Actually, there's very little sleight of hand involved. This is hidden here. You do nothing with the left hand. Everything's done with the right hand. You're going to flip the knife over, just like the first half of the paddle move. At the same time, or a fraction of a second later, you turn the knife over end for end. Now in slow motion, it looks like this. That, you reach over, you turn it over, then you turn it end for end. That's very slow motion. A little bit faster, it looks a little bit better. Faster still, it almost looks like you touch it and visibly it changes color. And they say, wow, I know what you're doing and I still can't see it. That's the best sleight of hand I've ever seen. And of course you graciously accept. All right, after you do this 2 times, so you change it once, apparently switching it, and then you change it back the way it was, apparently switching it back. Then you explain, well, that's the old way to do the switch. The 2 hands have got to get close together. Here's the new way. All right, you put the red knife over the yellow knife, 90-degree angle, hold where they cross with your left thumb, simply turn your hand over. Now there's a slight discrepancy here, but it's done on the offbeat. You say, well, that's the old way. Here's the new way, much better technique. Always goes by. The left fingers actually hide the yellow half of the half and half knife. So if you pull out the yellow knife and the red knife down there, it looks perfectly fine. The red knife goes into the left hand, yellow knife into the right hand. You do nothing. Just a fake move. Then you show the opposite sides. It looks like they've changed places. So you get a very clean transposition of two knives with no work on your part, and that's always good. Now you're ready for the big finish. You do the paddle move to show this is apparently red on both sides. Then you explain that if you only rub